For your new life, a new kind of love is necessary. You may not have experienced it before, but you must have already heard about it. It is called unconditional love, or sometimes known as true love, while others refer to it as compassion. As you opened your mind, your transformation started. However, your rebirth cannot be complete until you open your heart as well. Ordinarily, love is many things except love. Thus, here I will refer to this kind of love as ordinary love. It is very common, while true love is rare but not impossible. Ordinary love always has some kind of motivation behind it. It can be a tool to get sex, to get approval, to get something. It may provide you with security or comfort when you feel lonely, or it may be simply for entertainment. Ordinary love is an emotion, and just like any other emotion, it is utilitarian. You love anything that brings you pleasure, and you hate everything and everyone that causes pain. Ordinary love is just a mind trick, but it can be very persuasive. Until you don't know true love, you won't be able to tell the difference. Ordinary love is always based on fear, and its source is always a need. Psychologists say that the need for love comes right after the need for survival. Let's examine in detail why this need is so basic. It actually comes from three sources. It has three types: the biological, the psychological, and the existential need for love. Let's see each of them one by one. The first one is the biological need for love, which is necessary for survival. So this is the most basic because it is connected directly to the primary need. Imagine a human baby. He is helpless and needs the care of the parents. If the parents don't love the child, he will die. Love is the primary motivation for the parents to look after the child. He depends on the parents totally in the first few years. Without them, he is not capable of anything. The parents' love and the child's need for love are both unconscious biological reflexes. Parental love is far from being altruistic, though. It serves the survival of their genes. It functions as a tool for a sort of biological immortality. Human parents seem to be enchanted with the baby. They look like a slave from the outside, but they don't feel like that inside because they do everything with love. Animal babies are much more independent right after their birth. Thus, animal parents show less love towards their babies. This phenomenon in itself shows the biological nature of this kind of love. However, around the age of 3 or 4, things start to change for the human child as well. Before, parents fulfilled his every wish, but now they want to make him behave. They used to love him unconditionally, but their love seems to have turned conditional. They withdraw the love when the child doesn't behave how they want. They start to use the most evil technique, emotional blackmail. For the child, this loss of love threatens his survival. He has certain authentic needs. He has his own will. This clashes with the parents' will, with their expectations. They inherited this behavior, these expectations from their own parents, and now they pass it down the line unconsciously. Of course, they only want good for the child, but they are using the wrong means. Unconditional love means acceptance without expectations. With the appearance of conditions, the child experiences conditional love for the first time and has a big choice to make. He can either pretend to behave and show a fake face and win the parents' love back, or try to force his own will on the parents, but risk to lose their love. Most of the children choose the parents' love because it is still necessary for survival. The main problem is that this behavior becomes a pattern for many people later on. They are already grown up but still behave like children. They try to please everybody to get love. They show a different face each time. If you are also doing this, realize it and just stop it. This is the perfect way to confuse yourself, to lose your real self. This is how the ego forms in the first place. Are you still trying to please your parents, to make them proud? Why can't they just accept you like you really are? If they can love you only according to their own expectations, know that it is their problem. You can still accept that they don't accept you, and you can accept them as they are. But to be able to do this, you have to be able to accept yourself totally and be capable of unconditional love. During the teenage years, the need for love manifests as a need for friends. You rebel against your parents, but you want to be accepted by your peers. For millions of years, humans were living in tribes, and being an accepted member meant survival. We would hunt and gather in groups and share the food and shelter. If a member got ostracized for one reason or another, it was equal to a death sentence. This ancient need for being part of a group is still there in the collective unconscious. Being isolated is not so lethal anymore, but it still reduces the chances of survival. Modern human society and economy are also based on communication and cooperation. Friends still help each other in time of need or danger. The next stage in the biological need for love comes when you search for a romantic relationship. A partner from the opposite sex means the chance for procreation, which leads to the survival of the genes. If your partner doesn't love you, you won't be together for long though. Thus, the chance for sex will be much lower, and the probability that you raise children together will be even slimmer. Romantic love is a certain chemical bond that keeps the partners together, unconsciously compels them to procreate and raise children successfully. The family bond is important because the child can survive better if he has both parents to rely on. Romantic love is a subtle and clever survival mechanism of nature. As a new baby is born, the circle is complete, we return to where we started from. As we discussed before, the love that the parents feel toward the child is also mostly biological. They are almost compelled to feel it. The brain is simply wired this way. Without this biological reflex, our species would already be extinct. Thus, the basis of the biological need for love is survival. Well, you have a body, but you also have a mind, and with it comes the psychological need for love. All the three fake kinds of love are mind-based, but this particular form is really the ego's need to prove itself that it is good. If you are still living from your ego, you will feel this as a need to look good in others' eyes. If you didn't forget the fourth module, you would also remember that the ego is built up from the outside. If others think you are good, you also think you are good. If others accept you, only then can you accept yourself. If others love you, only then can you love yourself. Your ego needs the approval and love of others to be healthy, as the psychologists would say. It is very hard to live with an unhealthy ego when you think badly of yourself. The weaker the ego, the more positive attention it will seek. You may want to become famous, or have many lovers, or followers, or friends, or be the center of attention all the time, or help others, or save others, or even pretend to love others. Even if the act itself seems positive, if it is based on fear and attention-seeking, it is not authentic. No matter how you acquire it, this kind of love is always a business relationship. You collect some love, and only then you are ready to give back. Otherwise, why are you normally afraid to love someone? Because you are afraid that you will lose more than you gain, that the other won't love you like you love her or him, that the business won't be an equal exchange, and then you will feel cheated. The ego is trading this kind of love like a commodity. It collects love like you collect money for survival. It is only ready to give love when it expects even more love in return. just like an investor who spends money just to collect even more money in the future. The more love it has, the better, because the stronger and healthier it can be. Positive attention is the very blood of the ego. This is why we say paying attention. It is a commodity. When this is the source of your love, you are acting like a parasite. You don't really love your partner. You love the feeling that your partner gives you. And you believe that your partner is the source of these feelings, so you start to depend on him or her. You pretend to love to get love. Sometimes you pretend so well that even you believe that your love is real. But just notice what happens when you don't get the love back. Your false love disappears at once. Your lover is living in the same illusion, so you start depending on each other for happiness. You use and abuse each other. It is a play of give and take, and it has to be balanced. If you give more than you receive, you will feel cheated. This is why you want to control the other. You want the full attention to yourself. You become jealous of everybody else. You don't want to share your toy. If your lover loves others besides you, you feel that the exchange is not equal. Then you also want to make the other jealous, so your ego can take revenge and even win back the full attention of your lover. Besides, if your partner is the source of your happiness, then he or she is also the source of your sadness. Fear is there because the love you are receiving can be taken away at any moment. And when it happens, your fear turns into hatred. You feel hurt and you want revenge. They say that those people can hurt you the most who you love. You have become vulnerable and open, and you feel that the other abused this. For the ego, the most precious commodity is attention. You gave your full attention to someone, and you got nothing back in return. What you were afraid of deep down became a reality. This kind of love is always mixed with hatred. How can you truly love the person you depend on? You need the other, and you want to feel needed. But this is not true love. This is a love and hate relationship, where you cannot live without nor with your partner. You love and hate the same person, and the emotions go on fluctuating as the attention moves between the negative and the positive poles. The real opposite of love is not hate, but indifference, when you pay no attention at all. The other is the prison, the other is hell, but the other is the heaven also. You both live in a bondage because the source of your love and happiness is not independent. It cannot be until your existence is based on the ego. The ego is the trap because it can never be independent of others, but it can never be fulfilled by others either. The third kind of fake love is called the existential need for love. Psychological love is the ego's way of feeling good, while the existential need for love is the ego's need to prove itself that it exists in the first place. The ego is built from others' attention, just like a house is built from bricks. Love is simply a positive form of attention, while hate is the negative pole. Love means attention with acceptance, but attention is the basic need. Certainly, to be loved is better than to be hated, but if the ego doesn't get love, then even hate is better than no attention at all. Without attention, the ego simply cannot exist. Just imagine if nobody paid attention to you at all for an extended period of time. You would think you were a ghost, you would feel like a nobody. The ego is a defense mechanism to protect you exactly from this feeling. However, you are in fact a nobody, or from the opposite perspective, you are everybody. Either way, you are not really a separate person like you think you are. The ego can exist only between these two polar opposites, between being a nobody and being everybody. As an ego, you are somebody. This is why it needs both separation and relation for its existence. If you can go to one extreme, your ego drops automatically. If you are in complete isolation for an extended period of time and you can't relate to anybody else, you don't get any attention, neither love nor hate. You will have a certain kind of feeling that only you exist. If you go to the other extreme, instead of becoming completely closed, you become completely open. If you can relate to everybody as if it was you, you will soon see everybody as you. You can sense that deep down, you are not really different. You pay attention to the similarities instead of focusing on the differences. If you can experience universal oneness, you will have the same kind of feeling, that only you exist. But the ego can exist only between the two. It needs the sense of separation, but also the feeling of belonging. The ego is created in your mind. It is an artificial phenomenon. It is just as artificial as countries. Borders only exist on maps and in our minds, but if you go there personally, you won't see anything in nature. Countries exist officially only if other countries accept its existence, if they respect its borders, if they acknowledge its sovereign rights. The same way, your ego exists only if other egos accept it. Besides, the ego also wants to feel special and unique. If nobody loves you, the whole world seems very harsh, very unfriendly. You are lost in the crowd. You are just a number. You can be replaced easily, and nobody will notice. If you die tomorrow, nobody will cry for you. Nobody will miss you. The world will be the same place with or without you. Your life just seems futile without love. But if at least one person loves you, everything changes. Your whole existence receives meaning because now you are needed. You are not just another nameless face on the street. You are special for someone. You may not be anybody special in the world, but for a special somebody, you can be the whole world. Suddenly, the whole universe seems friendlier to you. Now you are irreplaceable, you are special, you are unique, and you are providing the same kind of feeling to your partner. It is a mutual benefit. Your partner needs to feel special just like you do. You are creating a private illusion together, and you don't let anyone enter. You represent the world to each other, and you depend on each other to keep this illusion alive. Most couples are not really loving each other. They are only justifying each other. You join your personalities, and you melt into a common personality. You start to use the word we more and more often to mean me and you. You are mutually acknowledged by each other, so you don't need the acknowledgement of the outside world. You want everlasting love because you want to keep this common personality alive forever. The existential need for love is, in fact, a safety measure against the fear of death. Your ego unconsciously knows that it won't survive in its current form, so it wants to become part of something bigger than itself. I will love you forever is a wish to become immortal by joining my ego with yours. This is a good start, but if your ego doesn't melt totally into the whole existence, you will never really feel immortal. This is the other reason why this kind of love is filled with hatred. The love you receive from your partner means your very existence. So the moment you stop receiving it, you become angry at your partner. The source of hatred is always the sense that your life is in danger. In this case, it is just the life of your ego, but as you identify yourself with it, you can't tell the difference. This kind of love is based on a universal fear. It is just a veil to deny death. It is based on the ego, so it can never fulfill you, because the ego can never be content. Unless you know something which is deathless in you, the existential need for love will always be there. Until then, love remains just an illusion. For some rare moments, the illusion does work, and it seems like magic. You get a taste of real love. You feel timeless. You become deathless. You forget about your personality. You think that your partner is causing you to feel love, and you want to relive these moments. So you start to depend on the other, and you want to possess him or her. You want to be in love forever. You want to get married. The expression of falling in love is very significant for understanding love. What people mean by this is that you become illogical, almost insane from love. What you do doesn't seem to make any sense from the outside, but for you it feels completely natural. You live amongst pink clouds with your beloved and close out the mundane world. You lose your mind, you lose yourself. In fact, falling in love means falling from your mind to the heart, dropping thinking and starting feeling. Thinking is not needed for love at all. You felt love exactly because your mind was not there between you two. Emptying the mind even for moments is beautiful, and it doesn't matter if the door is love, meditation, or something else. But now the mind comes in between with its fears and desires. It desires more beautiful moments, and it fears that it will lose the source of happiness. But real love is not based on fear, but love. You may desire real love, but love itself is a desireless state. The desire for possession just spoils love and makes you both unhappy. Just look at a married couple. They are both frustrated and disappointed with each other. The illusion worked for a while, but as soon as things settle, become secure and predictable, love disappears. The rare moments don't come anymore because the mind is in the way. Marriage becomes a business where two individuals agree to share their resources to be able to raise children better. Again, we are back at where we started: survival. Now that we exhausted the list of everything that is not love, let's see what is. True love is love without need, without attachment, without hate, without fear, without possession, without dependence, without control, without jealousy, without direction, without judgment, without passion, without reason, without expectations, and without conditions. You don't need love from others because you are its source. Instead, you give love to others whether they need it or not. True love cannot be given to you. It can only be given by you. You don't get attached to anything or anyone. Love is a gentle touch and not a tight grip. True love doesn't have any opposites because it is not an emotion but a state of being. It doesn't involve fear. It is not a utility for survival but an end in itself. You don't want to possess your beloved because you are not using him or her for your own gratification. You respect your partner's independence, and you also wish to remain independent. You don't want to change or control who you truly love. Neither do you control your own feelings. You never feel jealous because you don't expect your partner's love to have only one direction. You are also capable of feeling love towards more than one person, even for everybody and everything at the same time. True love is like the fragrance of a flower. Anybody who comes close may experience it. You love your beloved just like you love a tree in the garden. You never condemn or judge the other, because just as you accept yourself totally, you totally accept everybody else too. Ordinary love is like a fire, and it burns down pretty fast. True love is more like a cool breeze constantly blowing. Only true love can last forever, and only forever lasting love is true. Anything that appears and disappears is illusory. You cannot force true love. It can only happen to you, just like everything essential in life. You don't expect anything from someone you truly love. You don't love somebody for his or her appearance, achievements, or other qualities. You don't need love from others because you are its source. Instead, you give love to others whether they need it or not. True love cannot be given to you. It can only be given by you. You don't get attached to anything or anyone. Love is a gentle touch and not a tight grip. True love doesn't have any opposites because it is not an emotion, but a state of being. It doesn't involve fear. It is not a utility for survival, but an end in itself. You don't want to possess your beloved because you are not using him or her for your own gratification. You respect your partner's independence, and you also wish to remain independent. You don't want to change or control who you truly love. Neither do you control your own feelings. You never feel jealous because you don't expect your partner's love to have only one direction. You are also capable of feeling love towards more than one person, even for everybody and everything at the same time. True love is like the fragrance of a flower. Anybody who comes close may experience it. You love your beloved just like you love a tree in the garden. You never condemn or judge the other, because just as you accept yourself totally, you totally accept everybody else too. Ordinary love is like a fire, and it burns down pretty fast. True love is more like a cool breeze constantly blowing. Only true love can last forever, and only forever-lasting love is true. Anything that appears and disappears is illusory. You cannot force true love. It can only happen to you, just like everything essential in life. You don't expect anything from someone you truly love. You don't love somebody for his or her appearance, achievements, or other qualities. You don't want to possess your beloved because you are not using him or her for your own gratification. You respect your partner's independence, and you also wish to remain independent. You don't want to change or control who you truly love. Neither do you control your own feelings. You never feel jealous because you don't expect your partner's love to have only one direction. You are also capable of feeling love towards more than one person, even for everybody and everything at the same time. True love is like the fragrance of a flower. Anybody who comes close may experience it. You love your beloved just like you love a tree in the garden. You never condemn or judge the other, because just as you accept yourself totally, you totally accept everybody else too. Or only unconditional love is real, and only this kind of love gives meaning to life. In true love, you completely forget about yourself and you become love itself. It is not that you feel love, but you are love. It is not an emotion, but a quality of being, a state of mind, or rather, a state of no mind. Thinking stops, time stops, and space stops. You become one with who you love. If you can love the whole universe, you can experience universal oneness and attain enlightenment. So how do you move from ordinary love to true love? The first thing is to know the difference between the two. Remember their qualities and try to notice their signs in yourself. Be more aware of yourself. Sometimes just stop and simply watch what is happening inside you. If you catch any negative qualities attached to your love, make a mental note and be very authentic with yourself. Recognition is the first step to change. Second, let yourself literally fall in love. Move from the head to the heart. Stop thinking and start feeling. Don't fall into the trap of thinking about your feelings. Don't verbalize, don't analyze, don't rationalize. Don't repeat to your partner, "I love you," automatically like a robot. Before you say it, stop for a second to feel it with your whole being. In true love, you completely forget about yourself and you become love itself. It is not that you feel love, but you are love. It is not an emotion, but a quality of being, a state of mind, or rather, a state of no mind. Thinking stops, time stops, and space stops. You become one with who you love. If you can love the whole universe, you can experience universal oneness and attain enlightenment.